So now I've got another slab here that will serve as the base for my cylinder vase, and it's nice, it's good to have one that a slab that you've done at the same time as your slab for the walls so that it can set up and be the same moisture content as the walls. It's also good to have it oversized because you can look at your piece and kind of size it up and say, well, I'm never going to get this thing round, so maybe I want to just kind of make it a little bit more oval, and hey, maybe that might actually be nice to do because it'll hold flowers a different way. And make sure that your top and your bottom are totally flat up and down, especially the bottom, because I'm going to attach that. I can kind of just, if there's a little bit of a raised edge where I push the seam together, I can either cut that off or I can kind of just tap it down if I'm not too worried about the aesthetics. What's cool about this project is you can make, like I'm going to have the top more or less an oval, and the bottom I'm going to try and make that more or less a circle. I'm not going to go crazy about it, but I'm just going to eyeball it, and then put my, here's my other slab. Here's a quick tip. Sign that slab right now, so then you don't have to worry about it at a later time. So I'm going to flip, this is my bottom. I'm just going to size it up. Trace an outline right here with my pin tool. I can go a little bit outside, it's no problem. Just getting a rough shape. And then I'm going to score and slip both sides of this, both the bottom and my walls, where I'm going to press them together. This is the crucial joint. You don't want your bottom falling off. Not a pleasant experience. Not pleasant, folks. Little extra slip to hopefully get that seam nice and gluey. I'm just going to line this up, line up the slip with slip as best as I can. If I did this right, my name is going to be unscathed. Tap this carefully along this seam.
Sometimes it's good to use the back end of a trimming tool or a fettling knife. You really want to kind of compress that down, right where the two meet. If you don't like that texture, you can always smooth it out with your finger or a rip. Okay. Make sure that is good and on there.
And then I'm gently, very gently with my right hand holding the side so I don't distort them. Let's see what happens here. And I can cut this excess material off. I want to leave just a little bit, maybe about an eighth of an inch, and then I'm going to just fold that up on the side. If it gets to be out of your comfort zone, just cut it off. Rotate until you can see what you're doing. Make life easier on yourself, for these are difficult times. Okay. And then flip it back over and work on smoothing that seam up and in. And that can be a whole feature unto itself. You can integrate it very well. I think I'm just going to, it's going to flare out just a hair at the bottom, and that's fine with me. But really wrapping a little bit of excess clay from the bottom up onto the walls, I think is going to make this joint a lot more secure. And looking at this piece, I want to consider the aesthetics of it. You know, proportionally, I think I'm happy with it if it were totally round. You always want to look at the width to the length and if it's pleasing to your eye. And that's something that's intuitive. You can also look up, there are certain proportions that the human eye just finds to be pleasing. You can look up on the internet about that sort of thing, like the golden ratio. It's been used throughout history in columns of architecture, and you'll see that some of these things just look weird. If they're too squat, they look sometimes too tall and gangly, they look strange. But something that you find strange, someone else might find appealing. Keep that in mind as well. But I'm also going to start thinking about the lip at the top. Is it pleasing? Is it, you know, it's all cut to one dimension. Do I need to vary it? Do I need to add a little height somehow? What is it that that I like and don't like about this work? Could it use a little something? Do I need to take a little something away? If it's an organic kind of feel to it, like with all these finger marks, maybe it should have a more organic rim to match. Or maybe I like that juxtaposition of the hard edge, the straight edge with the organic texture. These are all just considerations I need to start thinking about as I'm working, or afterward, if I want to plan ahead, start thinking about that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that for now. Make sure your edge is not sharp, because that's going to be a place where it's going to want to chip. Always make sure that this edge is a bit rounded.